Alright, welcome back to the MrShowTym podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Springbok fans, in this video we are having a team talk with our beloved Springboks, right? In this video I'm going to be discussing 4 talking points in no particular order. A year out, heading into the Rugby World Cup 2023. But first things first, before we get to the next year's Rugby World Cup, we first need to cross the bridge that is the end of the year tour, the upcoming end of the year tour in November, right? Even though we're still busy with the Rugby Championships, there's only 2 matches left. Now, some may have noticed I haven't been doing previews and match reviews about the Springboks ever since we lost our first match against the Wallabies in Adelaide. Because at that point, I just said to myself, I lost steam. I lost patience. I was absolutely frustrated. Because this is the thing that's very annoying about the Springboks. Why do we have to have our backs against the wall first in order for us to deliver a domineering, convincing performance? We love this hashtag, this slogan of ours. Oh, a wounded Springbok is a dangerous Springbok. How about you just go out there and dominate teams on a regular? And another thing, have you noticed the Springboks? Only when we play against a threatening team, a strong team, only then we tend to match them. Only then we bring our A game. But when we play against a tier 2 nation, a weak team, we sort of like drop our standards down to match them. We always match the team we're playing against. So in other words, when you're playing against the All Blacks, you see Malcolm Marx doing those turnovers. You see Dwayne Vermeulen crash balling. You see Eben Etzebeth in the breakdown. Sia Kolisi, Cheslin Colby, Lucanio Arm, Pollard kicking, a 10 out of 10 goal kicking tally. Kicking percentage is 100%. Only when we play against strong teams when we need it. But when we play against, let's say, Italy or Argentina, only then now the guys are getting complacent. Our standards sort of like drop to match them. All of a sudden you see 100 Pollard missing easy kicks. You see, Francois Malherbe making penalties in the scrum, making us concede silly penalties. Guys diving off their feet, where they have secure the ball position anyway. But you see the likes of Franco Moses just diving off, and Peter Steph Victoria just diving off their feet. And then the ref penalizes for silly penalties. You have possession. The other teams are not really threatening us with their turnovers. But the guys tend to get a little too eager. They dive off their feet, hands in the ruck, conceding silly penalties in the scrum. Either you have hooker has a leg up too early, or they counter scrum us. Silly penalties. And this is all happening with weak teams. We find ourselves neck and neck in the dying moments of the second half. And that's where weak teams tend to get one up over us. And then we concede an upset defeat. The Springboks are really annoying. Because instead of, we play against a weak team, let's just clock on as many points as we can. Let's just dominate them from start to finish. Because we're well capable of doing that. We're very well capable of doing that. Just the All Blacks have no problem playing against the USA and then clocking cricket scores on the scoreboard. 75 points to 3. But when we play against weak teams, we just want to subside our energy just to match them. It's like, okay, we're just going to play a game that's good enough. Instead of getting out there and just flatten them, just demolish them. right? Power just went out, load shedding, right? But without further ado, I've wasted 5 minutes ranting because, like, seriously, it's annoying. We should be dominating weak teams on a regular, just like how the All Blacks do. I mean, our score, our winning point average, we tend to win with 20 points to something. Our final score, we always win with 20 points, 25 points to 17, 22 points to 15, 20 points to 19. But the All Blacks, they'll put on 50 points. They'll beat a team with 53 points to 7, 67 points to 17. They win. They beat teams with an emphatic, convincing margin. But with us, we always want to like these narrow victories. But anyway, without further ado, man, here are 4 critical talking points currently heading to next year's Rugby World Cup. Number 1, in no particular order, right? Injuries. Lately, the Springboks have been suffering a great deal of injuries, especially with the number 14 jersey position. We've lost the likes of Springboks. He's out from injury. We've lost the likes of Cheslin Colby, our key player, our key wing. We've lost the likes of Kirkley Arnser, another promising prospect. And now we have Kanan Moody, of which he had a very good debut match against the Wallabies and scored a debut. Congratulations to him, right? Injuries. Peter Steph du Toit just came back from injury. Dwayne Vermeulen just came back from injury. Some of the guys in the Springboks setup, their selection is very questionable due to fitness. Some of them due to competency. So, for example, Jasper Visa. I'm not comfortable having Jasper Visa. Jasper Visa is not our 8th man, right? And who else? There's certain guys that just should not be in the Springboks setup. They're weaklings. They're an expense, such as Jesse Creel. Yeah, the coach's nephew. Yeah, nepotism. They're related in some shape or form. What value does Jesse Creel bring to the squad? He's a useless player. But oh no, so long as he has his 50th Springbok test cap, right? He doesn't pass, he doesn't step, he doesn't create opportunities. The guy just gets the ball and just runs straight. He's useless. Why is he there? Nepotism and favoritism, obviously. Damien Delindi. That guy should have been dropped since 2016. I've already done previous videos about this. Jasper Visa he's not the answer at 8th man. At 8th man. He's not the answer. Why not have Evan Roos? The guy had one match against Wales, a match that was very disastrous for the whole team, and he was dropped. Along with Apelele Fassi, having him at wing instead of having him at fullback, his primal position. Of course, Jacques Minaba just doesn't trust certain players at certain positions, right? Hence why they were dropped and let go. But again, speaking of selections in the squad, Elton Yankees. Why did it take Elton Yankees 2 misdemeanors to get finally kicked off the Springbok squad? Oh, of course, the Springboks were forced by the ANC to adhere to quotas and transformation obligations to have a player of color in certain positions that were traditionally favoring Caucasian players. I mean, I'm not against that, but so long as the guy is good enough to play in that position, you get what I'm saying? In Elton Yankees, you telling me that there's no other player of color we could have used as our reserve fly half, such as Mani Libok? He's been on form. Why isn't he in the Springbok setup? Okay, now as people say, okay, you have Damon Willemse. Okay, good, thank you, finally. Personally, I would have picked Kevin Bosch as our reserve fly half because he's still young and he's a long-term investment into the future, right? So is Damon Willemse. I'm not saying, hey, I'm glad we have Damon Willemse at fly half. But with Damon Willemse, I might even go a step further, putting him at 12. Because of the way he plays, the way he wants to searching to break the advantage line. But anyway, I'm glad Elton Yankees is finally sacked. Nothing personal against him, but the guy had an earlier misdemeanor at an airport. Vandalism, right? Something like that. Okay, he was forgiven. And now he got caught sleeping with one of our Springbok female dietitians in a hotel room, right? And it's like, yo, Elton, you've been out of control for. You've had one too many misdemeanors, and it's finally like you're starting to act like these NFL players in America who are busy being caught with charged with DUIs and other misdemeanors. And if you're gonna be a Springbok, if you're gonna wear this jersey, it's very sacred. Your behavior on and off the field has to be on point. You're becoming a bad role model, Elton. You have a wife and kids. Why are you acting like this? Why? It's the second time now you've had these cases against females. First, it was during your plane ride back from Dubai, and then now this hotel. What's wrong? What's going on? Is this how you want your kids, your sons, to look at you when they grow up? Because they're gonna see these articles when they grow up, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's embarrassing." You did it to yourself, Elton. And on top of that, your performance on the field has been absolutely atrocious since 2017. We all backed you in 2016 while you were playing for the Lions because you were in spectacular form. And then you started putting on the Springbok jersey again. I don't know what happened to you. You just lost your mojo. And you haven't become better. You've become worse. It's time for you to leave. It's time for you to finally... it's time for your tribute. This is your tribute. This is your way out. You've already had your closure back in 2019. You're part of the World Cup winning squad, yes. But now it's time for you to leave. Seriously. Moving on from the Elton Yankees misdemeanor saga thingy scandal. We also haven't been building enough players. Now, please stop. Don't blame this on COVID in 2020. Please don't blame this on COVID. I mean, fine, okay. 2020 was a disrupted season. But what about last year? We hardly saw any new test caps, not just new test debuts. Because some of the guys you gave debuts to, they only played 1 or 2 matches. Where's Marvin Ori? Where's Ivan Roos? Where's Kevin Bosch? Where's Rohan Janssen van Rensburg? Where's Ruan Ackerman? You haven't been building enough depth. And when injuries strike, now we have to shuffle ourselves. And it's only now that Francois Steyn came back to, fill in. Because this whole time you've been playing Willie Leroux, another useless player. But I don't know why you've just been giving some of these these incompetent players so many chances. There's other guys who've been waiting in line. But because of favoritism, these guys like Faf de Klerk have been screwing up for I don't know how many matches. And they're complacent because they know that their spot is secured. So why give you an A-grade performance when they know that, okay, I'm probably going to get selected anyway. Yeah, I missed 5 kicks. Yeah, I slapped the ball out of Nick White's hands and he was giggling while he got the yellow card. Yellow card. I don't know what was funny, Faf de Klerk. It wasn't funny. Giggling while yellow card. We lost. We haven't been building enough depth, right? Another factor. We are now heading into the end of the year tour after we're gonna play Argentina at Estadio. I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry, it's that Spanish name, right? We're gonna be playing Argentina, at home, or away, and then here at home. Quite frankly, the results, I don't care. The All Blacks are they're probably going to win it. I mean, it's very close. The All Blacks will have to lose one against Australia. And then we're going to have to compensate with a bonus point. I'm not going to talk about the Argentina last 2 matches. I don't care. But the biggest concern, ladies and gentlemen, upon us going to up north for the end of the year tour, we are going to be playing Ireland, a team that has desecrated and dominated the All Blacks earlier this year, beating them not once but twice. The first match kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, but the Ireland came back. Now we haven't faced Ireland since 2017. Let that sink in. We haven't played Ireland. The Springboks haven't faced Ireland since 2017, and the last time we played them, they demolished us. They beat us with a cricket score. I see us having a very, very tough time, a very hard time trying to beat Ireland. I don't think we're going to beat Ireland. Because Ireland, they love playing with set piece moves. And when I'm saying set piece moves, I'm talking about these structural attacks, these set piece moves. Ball goes from 9 to 10, skip pass on 12, through pass to 13. 13 does an inside pass to the fullback. Fullback just makes a outside pass to wing, finish. These set piece moves, right? These are moves usually done from a set piece, either from a scrum or a line out, and then they do these set piece moves. Ireland, that's how they play for 80 minutes. This is how they play for 80 minutes. Ireland will run set piece moves on you from first minute all up to the 80th minute. And I don't see how our defensive structure will be able to withstand that for 80 minutes. Ireland is going to beat us with a heavy score. That's what I'm predicting. And because, we love playing the same, we all only have, Jacques Nienaber only has one singular approach to every game plan. They've been reading us. They've been watching our matches. So, and we're not even compensating to have a plan B, a different way of attack, a different way of defending. They know Marcus Olmapimpi is going to shoot out, he's going to shoot out, and then they're just going to kick the ball over to their wing, and then he has to retreat back and try to do a rush cover defense. I don't see us beating Ireland. And we're also going to be facing France, a team that has won the Six Nations Grand Slam and the Six Nations title. They've been ranked number 1. France at the top of their game. And the last time we faced them was back in 2018. So the Springboks, we're facing very unfamiliar we're heading into unfamiliar territory going into the end of the year tour. And knowing Jacques, he's not the type of coach, and Zonny Stick and Dion Davids. Yes, I'm holding them accountable. They should not be in the Springboks setup to begin with. Why? Because they have poor coaching results in 2016 in the Super Rugby tournament. 2016 and 2017. It's funny how Johan Ackerman, who used to coach the Lions, he too also had poor results prior to 2016. The Lions used to lose a lot. Was he brought up, promoted at national level? Oh no, because he's white. Oh, white privilege. Oh, no, how come Johan Ackerman wasn't promoted at national level? Oh, I know why. Because of BEE and coaches and transformation. And on top of that, Johan Ackerman has improved his team, the Lions. He featured in not one, not two, but 3 Super Rugby final appearances. No national level call-up. This whole thing of transformation and crying about white privilege, it's not on. It's buffoonery. It would make more sense to promote Johan Ackerman at national level. Why? Because it's proven that. And if you really want to have a coach of color, why not promote Jonathan Mkwena at national level? Because he has a track record of success. He coached Northwest University to a successful Varsity Cup final in 2016, and he won. And I think he's featured in other finals for multiple Varsity Cup final appearances. Why isn't he coaching at franchise level? It would make sense. Listen, I advocate for Johan Ackerman and Jonathan Mkwena and let's say Swayze de Bruin as our head coach. That's the Springbok coaching staff that I advocate for. Swayze de Bruin is our head coach. Johan Ackerman is our backline / attacking consultant. And then have Jonathan Mkwena as our forwards coach. Because listen, even if Mzwani the Stick and Jacques Ninaba and Dion David, even if they manage to score another fluke by defending the Rugby World Cup, they must still leave. They must still just be fired. After the World Cup, they must leave. We've had enough of them. We've not had enough of their scope and yach, silly box kicking tactics. Now, where was I? Yeah. Another team we're going to be facing is Italy. My 50-50, I don't know. And we have the privilege to have our shot at redemption against England. Because last year, there's certain calls that the referee made that was like questionable. But I still say England was the better team in 2021. Because they made that set piece move where one of their wings just broke through in the middle of our defense from a line-out attack. And they scored. And Eddie Jones made that. Eddie Jones, he put up an article before the match saying that he knows how to beat the Springboks. And immediately I knew how exactly he's going to do it. The same way he did against Japan. He's going to focus on attack on one area and then immediately going to swing out to the on the far side of the field, using the width of the field. Because us as the Springboks, we're very predictable. And that's how Mani Tuolagi scored that opening try. We have to be versatile with our attack. We can't have a single approach to every game plan. But heading to the Rugby World Cup 2023, I looked at the fixtures on DSTV I didn't see any test international fixtures. No rugby championships, no incoming tour, nothing. So next year we're just gonna go straight into the Rugby World Cup after the franchise URC uh, franchise tournaments. So next year is just gonna be the World Cup. And looking at our pool, we have Ireland in our pool. I don't think the Springboks have ever faced Ireland in a Rugby World Cup pool stage. I can't remember the last time we faced them. Maybe we faced them in 2011. I can't remember. But this is going to be the first, if not the second, if not the third time ever in history encountering Ireland in a Rugby World Cup tournament. So I'm guessing we might lose our against Ireland in the pool stages, and then let's assume we win the rest of our matches. Hence, us qualifying for the quarterfinals, but that's as far as we go. I'm predicting we're not going to get any further than that, because that means we're going to have to face either the All Blacks or France, if I'm correct, or do we go the other route where we face either Wales or Australia? Either way, those are I don't like those odds. I'm sorry to say, I don't see us making past the quarterfinals. But anyway, that's my little take for now. It's not looking good. We're very unstable, and yeah, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. We have so many things going against us, namely ourselves. But we're doing it to ourselves. Jacques Nienaber is just keep making these silly decisions in terms of management, these WTF decisions that make him like, why would you do that? Why would you substitute your starting hooker in the first 5 minutes to bring in Malcolm Marx? Why not start Malcolm Marx in the first place? Why selecting Jesse Creel? Why selecting Ville Leroux? Why are you Skopignac box kick? Why? After the Rugby World Cup, Jacques Nienaber, Mzonja Stick, and Dion Davids should leave. We have had enough of them. We want a new coaching staff. Name of Swys de Bruin, Johan Ackerman, and Jonathan Mkwena. That's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching. Cheers.